Hmm. Peppercorn. Give me pep. Yeah, pep. Look at the pretty kitty. Look. Yeah, it's you. It's you. Such a pretty cat. What a fucking weekend, right? It was Saturday night Friday night, Friday afternoon or something. I don't remember, but I got the blue screen of death. I was just in the middle of a creative document. I was watching a YouTube video. It turned off. It turned off. It was just a blue screen. The screen was blue. I'm telling you, it was as blue as the fucking ocean. It was as blue as the skull of a Blue Man Group guy who was in the Blue Man Group. And it wouldn't turn back on. Well, it did actually turn back on. That was the funny thing. It would seemingly reboot. So I rebooted it up. I got the lock screen, and it would say, type in your PIN number, your password thing. And I did that. And then I was looking at my desktop just as I left it. And then I would move the mouse around and click on an icon, and the whole computer would freeze up. And then blue screen. The screen was so blue that it was as if it was painted with paint that was also blue. It's really hard to exaggerate how blue something can be. I wouldn't say it was a nasty shade of blue, but I would say that it made me sick to see it. Because I knew at very least my night was fucked, was shot, all the shit I was working on. And I've got one of these little things here. You know when these are really useful? When you plug them in and you use them once in a while. I haven't plugged this damn thing into my desktop for like 2 weeks. I actually plugged it in and backed up stuff, I think, after the boardrooms holograms. I think. I haven't even actually looked that hard. But there's a chance I probably haven't backed it up since before I did the holograms in boardrooms. So all that shit that I was working on, that I was like, oh yeah, this is great because I'll have these backgrounds and these still images, the Lana Del Rey models. It was stuff I could reuse again in future videos. I think that all might be gone. And then everything I did on the RM Brown video, and I was in the middle of an RM Brown video as well. I drew a bunch of shit. I drew some of the best shit I've ever drawn. Seriously. I seriously had drawn some of the best shit I had ever drawn. I didn't stream a lot of this. I didn't stream any of it partially because I didn't really feel like listening to podcasts, and I was kind of doing other stuff that I didn't really want to stream. Fuck! It's still just like hitting me. How fucking frustrating that is. So what I thought we'd do is let's listen to the live show podcasts, which I have listened to a little bit. And then I can show you the thing, because basically what I've been doing this weekend is right now I'm on my laptop, which is not as powerful as my desktop, but we're going to see. We're going to see. Can I share my screen? Now, the problem with this is last time I was streaming this and sharing my screen, it was like popping back to just, it was hiding my screen and just showing my face, my big stupid looking face. So basically I need to like pull up another device. And watch my own stream to make sure that it's not fucking off, that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So what am I drawing right now? I am drawing a hipster in flannel and suspenders with a handlebar mustache and a gun. Why am I drawing this? None of your fucking business. Just kidding. I'm making another RM Brown video where RM Brown is making fun of a funny little fellow called Timothy James Poole. What's his name? Timmy Pools. Tim Poole. And if you don't know about Tim Poole, little Pimmy Tool boy, little beanie Pool toy boy toy, he is a little beanie wearing weirdo who is a piece of shit and is a disgusting fucking clown, and he's a millionaire. And he's the dumbest motherfucker you've ever heard in your life. Dude literally never went to high school. He sounds exactly like someone who basically like struggled their way through an 8th grade education and is now a millionaire with his little talk show and everything. He's also a massive fucking moron in ways that are sometimes just really, really hard to even wrap your head around. In ways that are so absurd that sometimes you need to actually literally draw them out. So that's my job. Okay? Okay? That's my job. That's my task. is when something gets too absurd, I have to fucking draw it because otherwise you're not gonna. I don't know. I actually don't know what would be what would happen. Why do I have two? What the fuck? I have two identically named critophiles. See, this is something when we're fucking with cloud storage. Cloud storage is fucking me off so much because I know it sort of works, but there's this weird thing where syncing, when things are syncing, it like makes copies of shit. And then sometimes when it's syncing, it deletes every copy of something. And it's just so fucking stressful dealing with cloud storage that I don't know what it's like automatically doing or not doing in the background. So checking these synced files, and here's like one example where I opened a file called 30 Armed Hipsters, and I saved it. I opened it up. I did some work on it. I saved it. Now I've got two copies of that same thing. One of them is the one that I worked on further. The other one isn't. How this even allows me to name something the same thing, I guess it's because it's like saved in a different folder. So it just went ahead and allowed me to make them identically named. Usually it stops me from doing that. Usually it'll say there's already a thing called this. Do you want to call it something else? But I don't get that now. And these little fucking things just throw me off so hard. You know, I can't relax and draw if I'm afraid that all of my shit isn't being saved. You know, I can't relax. I have to be able to relax and just trust that shit's getting saved, you know? Good God. All right. So, whatever. This version of the file is the one that has the most work done on it. I don't actually think I need to do any more work on this. So we got any kitty cats sleeping? We need to get a kitty cam. Okay, here's the other thing. I don't know if I'm able to play the podcast and for anyone to hear it. Let's see. Did it work? I don't think it's. There's nobody in chat right now. Okay, I can hear the podcast playing. Can you guys hear it? No, I don't think you can. I don't think you could. I don't know how to share sound. I'm sharing screen. God, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. This is a disaster. How do I audio with you? I thought I remember seeing that as an option. I don't know. I just want to be able to listen to the podcast not through my microphone, just through the system sound. And I thought I could do that. I thought there was a button for that. There's no fucking button for that. All the buttons are for other shit. Also share audio. Also share tab audio. The fuck? What is tab audio? System audio. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to mute my mic.
Pray.
I have great respect for knowledge fight.
Knowledge fight. I'm sick of them posing as if they're the good guys, saying we are the bad guys. Knowledge fight.
Dan and Jordan. Knowledge fight.
Need money.
Okay, I think it's playing. So we are listening to episode 926. This is the Cambridge. Why did I say Cambridge? Cambridge, Massachusetts. Fucking thing with Dan and Jordan. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called.
Knowledge fight.
Knowledgefight.com. I love you.
Hey, everybody!
Woo! Welcome to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
We are a couple dudes who like to travel the East Coast, sit around a bit, and also talk a little bit about Alex Jones.
Oh, indeed we are, Dan. Boo!
And he's never comfortable in front of a live crowd.
Yeah, what we do is we all listen to the worst man talk and then laugh. Cool. That's our job.
How you doing, Boston? Seems good.
Seems good. Thank you so much for coming out
Absolutely.
to the Middle East. This is absurd.
It is.
This is absurd. There's so many of you.
Yeah.
So many of you.
25 years ago, a little boy named Dan heard the opening notes to 128 by the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones live at the Middle East. And here we are so many years later.
Oh, it happened.
It did.
It took a lot of work. The end.
Yeah.
Here we are.
And I'd like to introduce our trombone section. The trombones didn't show up. That's why we started a little bit late.
No.
We thought the horns.
We had to lie about it because otherwise, whenever I sold the venue on the show, they were like, "It's two dudes talking, eh?" In this legendary punk venue.
Compelling visually.
Yeah. I feel like every now and again I just have to pump my fist just to, See?
Terrified.
Yeah.
I'm gonna curl up in a shell.
Yep, that's too much power for one man.
Boston has turned me into a tortoise. Oh. I'm gonna have to skank around the stage. When we were preparing for these shows, I was like, I got to do something special. And my biggest idea was I would debut a new shirt at each show, which goes to show like how out, like that's like, yeah, maybe that'd be fun.
All right. And again, Legendary punk venue. That was the shirt.
Thank you.
The shirt bit paid off, buddy.
Rah!
Boom!
Rah!
All right, we can't keep this energy up the whole night.
No.
This is impossible to do.
My other big idea was the reveal that I spoiled for you.
Yes.
But I figured out the cities that we're going to around the East Coast. I was like, what's the connection between them? And I figured it out. And it's that we're doing a tour of cities with notable regional accents. Boston, Baltimore, New York.
Yep.
Philly.
All of whom, it is the Jordan's gonna try and they're gonna hit accent tour.
Yep. Couldn't
Uh,
get it done in Scotland.
Yeah. Yeah, the Scottish are weak. I bet Boston's got me.
Oh no.
Somehow daring Boston to hit me and promising Scotland will later.
So
This fucking laptop runs like shit. I can't draw. Like, my pen is so... Maybe you probably can't tell. What I'm trying to do is change my brush size, and then I'm trying to draw with it. Nope. So sometimes when I'm drawing, it looks like I'm just drawing, but I'm actually trying to change my fucking brush size, because this keyboard just like sometimes decides to register a keystroke and sometimes doesn't. And the way I've developed my writing, like my drawing technique, is I'm very reliant on these hotkeys, on pushing keys on the keyboard. And when I do that, I expect them to fucking work. And then when I don't press it, I expect it not to do the thing that it would do if I was pressing it. And right now it's fucking me off. I literally can't draw anything.
normally you would ask me, but I'm going to initiate with you. What's your bright spot,
yeah.
bro?
Oh, shit. Oh.
Whoa, you did? Oh, you got one of the three. Woo! Completely random, and that is fucking awesome.
That is really cool.
What's that? Hey! Brother got rehired. Congratulations.
Bright spot achieved.
Yeah.
How can you not make that your bright spot? That's the coolest thing I've ever. What was my bright spot? We survived hanging out there for 2 hours without freaking out on each other.
That is true.
Yeah. At no point in time did I stab your leg with a fork.
No.
Never happened.
I saw some motions.
Ooh.
I was pacing around because I got my Fitbit, trying to get my steps in. Pacing around backstage like a lunatic.
How many, Dion, how many steps did you get backstage?
It's, I don't want to admit to these fine people. It's not less than 1,500. But that's your right spot that we survived backstage.
I suppose. I mean, come on. It is this. It is this magic.
Sure.
It is achieving something that is both ridiculous and impossible to achieve. This is like how you can't buy something that's free. You know?
I sensed a real vague nod coming from the audience. Like, fuck yeah.
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 All
right.
All right. Now we could leave happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's your bright spot, Tim?
I guess it's just coming back to this city. You know,
Yeah.
I spent a little time growing up.
Sure.
Here.
Sure. Grew up here till a certain age.
Till quite a young age, and then moved. But I had not been back, I don't think. And I don't remember shit.
Turns out.
Lovely city. I've enjoyed walking around, getting my steps in, but I don't remember. What's up? Did not grab the goose. No. And I probably shouldn't encourage this sort of thing.
No questions from the crowd. whilst listening to the podcast, you can ask all the questions you want. At the live show, it's harder.
Here's what I'll say about yelling interjections. Stop it.
What?
But I appreciate it.
This is what we do now. This is what we do. Can you tell we haven't been on stage for a while? Maybe milking it a bit? Maybe.
Just trying to have some fun.
We're having fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So today we got an episode to go over, Jordan.
Banter achieved. Yes, sir.
Check. We got an episode to go over, and we're going to be talking about March 4th, 2011.
Okay. All right.
Do you have any idea why?
Oh, my God. Dude. Oh. The rumble through the crowd is very intimidating.
They can't possibly be rumbling for the reason I chose this date.
Okay.
It's literally impossible.
Okay, March 3rd, 2011.
Well, March 4th.
March 4th. All right. Well, March 3rd was a better day. You
It
should
probably
pick that.
was, yeah.
I would have done that one.
Well, in hindsight.
Right. Boy, no, I have no idea what could possibly be happening in March 2011.
Well, we're going to find out.
Did we start another war? Did I miss a war?
It's not a war, although a war will be mentioned.
Ooh, okay. Charlie Wilson.
So here we are, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Boston.
Yep.
Beantown. The home of Fenway.
Yes. Yep.
The main character in Good Will Hunting is the city. We all know that.
Is the city of Boston?
Yeah.
Okay.
The home of CT from the Real World Road Rules Challenge.
True.
Is CT here? That's too bad.
What's he gonna do from the? Yeah, I showed up.
Good on you.
Thanks, CT.
So there's a lot to say about this city. So choosing a date to cover was no small feat. I do think that one thing that immediately comes to mind when you think about Boston, though, is a good old tea party.
Okay. All right.
So I decided to try and find an episode on the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party.
Sure.
They all sucked.
Okay.
So I tried a couple more dates related to the Boston Tea Party.
Sure.
And they all sucked.
Sure.
So I figured, if I was going to do an episode about this, I was going to have to dig a little bit deeper, right? So the Tea Party was carried out in part by a group called the Sons of Liberty. And I told myself, I bet that if I look through the list of people who were members of that group, we were going to find some fun names. And I was right.
Yep.
Fitch Pool. William Carolina Cattle Esquire. Ebenezer Clapp.
Oh, now that's a disease. That's a disease. This motherfucker's stingy and he's whoa.
Ooh. There were so many Ebenezers. It's nuts.
I wonder what made the name go out of style.
And then Henderson Inches.
Henderson Inches.
I think Inches Henderson sounds better.
I think
that's
so
like
too.
A mob name.
Oh shit! You seen Inches around? He killed 3 people last week.
You give him an inch, he takes a mile.
Oh man!
Right.
No! We've been working on puns all day. We've been walking around Boston. This is your fault.
It is true. Like over lunch, I made a pun, and Jordan looked at me weird, and I was like, "I'm warming up, man. We gotta get in game shape.
Gotta keep going."
So I liked all those names, and they were strong. And some of them, I looked into dates related to them, and those episodes also sucked.
Yeah.
So then I found a great name, though, a real weird one: Hercules Mulligan. That's a hell of a name. Demigod Do-Over.
That's when you really fucked up.
Yeah. So I wanted to see if I could learn a little bit more about this guy, and turns out Hercules Mulligan was a wild figure in the American Revolution.
That sounds right.
He was an Irish guy who came to New York City in 1774 and set himself up as a fancy tailor and haberdasher. His business thrived, especially among the British living in the colonies, and he got in good with that whole world, even marrying the Admiral of the Royal Navy.
What?
However, the whole time he harbored revolutionary inclinations and opposed the British.
Harvard. Boom! Keep going. That's 2-0.
When the war broke out, he was perfectly situated to be a spy for Washington's army, since he was fitting all the British soldiers with clothes and hats.
I feel like I'm at the bottom of a hill, of a mountain that I already climbed. And I fell down it. And I have to climb back up it. And even the joyful banter of our sweet boys is not really cheering me up right now. I really want to do this. I want to just be able to sit down and do this. But I feel like absolute shit. And I'm in one of those moods where all these little things are really getting to me. They're fucking me off. They're fucking me off. All these little things. Like this program's just not running smoothly or as smoothly as I expect it to, the way it works on my desktop. And like I said, I'm getting like sticky keys. And it's just fucking weird. And I just don't know what to do. Okay, here's one idea I can do. The only drawings I have of this video are on YouTube, on a video. Like, I don't have any of my originals. So I'm going to have to literally, like, just go to the video and take pictures of it and reference it. In order to redraw it. I have to redraw everything. Everything. I have to redraw everything. I have to redraw everything. It's not going to look the same. Maybe it'll look the same. Maybe I could get it to look exactly the same. Maybe it'll look better. It looked fine before. I didn't need it to look better. I feel so... Look, I've known that I lost my shit for a couple days now. I think it was like 2 nights ago when I got the text from the technician that he wasn't able to get anything recovered from the hard drive. So I just tried to put it out of my mind. I didn't try to redraw anything yet. I just kept working on new stuff, just drawing new pictures and saving them. And then I don't know. I just didn't really think about it too hard about and really like notice all that was. God damn it. There's so much I did. I drew so much shit. It's not just this. There's shit that I never, that's not on YouTube because I had been working on it for 2 weeks. So I can't replicate everything. I can only redraw what I already put on this video, which was really just a few things. Fuck. 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 just sucks. It keeps sucking. Like it sucks. And then I'm like, okay, just be positive. And then I think of something else and it sucks again. You know, that's kind of what the problem I'm having now is. I had so much shit. I had, oh my God, I had multiple like animation sequences with this. I had her dancing. I had her doing funny faces. I had it synced up to the sound. I had spent a lot of time editing audio, which I suppose from memory I could probably redo that a bit, faster because I already know what I want now. But it was so much work and it's all gone. And I don't know what else to do. I could either just, but I already spent the weekend still working on this. So I have to rebuild it. I don't have to, I guess. I could go back to a knowledge fight animation. Fuck. These fucking bugs. These weird flying beetles that are infesting the neighborhood right now. And they startled me. Get the fuck out of here. But I don't know which knowledge fight one to do. I don't know what to do. I want to have this video. So here's the thing. There's basically 2 RM Brown videos. There's 3. There's the one I just published. There's a second one that I was working on that I didn't save or back up on an external hard drive that is also an RM Brown cartoon, and it has a lot of shit. It was about the Kendrick and Drake beef. Okay, I had drawn puppets of Kendrick and Drake and J. Cole. I did so much shit. While I was working on that one, I got an idea for another RM Brown bit that involves Tim Pool. That's the one I showed you a little bit from earlier in the stream where Tim Pool has a gun and he sees a hipster in his backyard trying to steal his chickens. Whatever. It's a really stupid fucking story by Tim Pool. And it's really funny because RM is also giving his commentary to it. So I had sort of had that cooking in the back of my mind. When my desktop broke, I immediately just got my laptop and started working on Tim Pool. Because I figured I'll just start a new file, new project, since I don't have access to any of the other stuff. I'll just start working on the art that I know I'm going to need to have for the Tim Pool video. And with the idea that would be combined with all of these backgrounds and all of the RM Brown stills that I spent a couple weeks drawing, that was all going to need to be together. So I was just working on the supplemental pictures for the 3rd RM Brown video. But now I've lost everything related to RM Brown except for these supplemental parts, right? So I'm pretty much ready to animate or to lay out all the Tim Pool's stupid story. And then I would combine that with the footage of RM and probably the little frog. Gretchen isn't in the Tim Pool one, but Gretchen is in the Drake and Kendrick one. So I had hoped that I could get my computer back and that the hard drive would have been fine, and I would have picked up from, if I had been able to pick up from where I left off, I would probably have finished either one of those. I probably would have done the Tim Pool one first. It's a little more straightforward, and I probably would have just finished that since I'd already done most of the work on the laptop for the extra pictures. And then I would have gone back to the Drake and Kendrick one and then released that one soon after. But now I'm going to release fuck all. All that shit is down the toilet. And if it's going to be like another month before that, no one's going to give a fuck about Drake Kendrick anymore. It's already too late. And to be honest, I don't know if anyone even likes these. Like, I did get all positive comments on YouTube, but I got a lot fewer of them, and I got a lot fewer views and hits, and gotten very, very little feedback about these. And I haven't got any feedback from RM himself about it. So I don't even know how anyone feels about this or how about these. And I don't even know how I feel about these. It was just an experiment. God, the reason I keep like making those sounds is because I keep remembering something that I worked on that is gone and lost forever. They keep coming to my mind. Like it doesn't hit me all at once. It's like it's just individual. Oh wait, that sucks. Oh no, but that sucks again. And the other thing is because my memory is so god awful. Like there's shit that there's definitely shit that I don't even remember if I have or not, or what I did, what's lost. You know, there's just shit I plumb forgot, and I'll never ever remember it until like I don't know. Maybe I'll just realize it one day, like in the shower. I'm so gutted though. I'm so fucked off. I can't. I feel like I'm, no matter what, like there's nothing I can do to like, I don't know, like whether I continue doing this project from here, redoing everything, or if I quit and give it all up and just do something else. Both of those choices make me feel bad. I want to do it again. I like Gretchen. There's some potential here, I think. Okay, let's talk about a silver lining. Let's talk about something that I easily could have lost, and I might have lost, but I didn't. And that is a video that I actually had for my first channel. Or like, it's more wholesome it's educational. It's not meant to be delving into the dark world of right-wing shitheads. It's about English, and it's about art, and it's about whatever. It's about music. So I have 2 whole videos that I made that I basically like finished all the art and the animation and laid it all out, and I just like couldn't bring myself to record my voice and narrate. Like I just kept putting it off, and I did one day sit down and really try to do it, and I'd record like 2 seconds, and then like my mind would go completely blank. So I try to write down what I was going to say, and it's just this, I don't know, it just didn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. It couldn't happen. I couldn't do it. I don't know why. That just shit has happened sometimes where I'm just like, I can't do this. Even though I clearly know what to do and how to do it, there's like a third thing, a secret third thing that is stopping me from doing it. And it's just like, I get really hung up on like exactly how should I word this. And I don't know. So these were saved though. So they're still there. They're still here for me in case I do ever want to like go ahead and finish them. Let's take a watch. So this all started with just sitting down and drawing and not knowing what exactly I was going to draw, but just knowing I wanted to do something with perspective and a scene, you know? So I drew this little 2-point perspective, drew in some details, and I got these little character guys, and that's not right. The shading was bad, but I will fix that later. I'm laying out a little green guideline here, you know, for the ball bouncing, and then putting it on different frames to achieve a bouncy perspective. And it's pretty rough, but that's basically about as good as I could do it in that sitting. And then I start to work on animating all the characters reacting to the bouncing ball. This step is very important, labeling all the different layers of each body part, because each body part's a different layer on the thing, so I can move them around independently. And then I can move them on different frames as well. So I just follow the frames of the ball and make all these guys, you know, follow along with their eyes. Because I'm using a lot of transform tool stuff, I don't actually have to draw a whole lot in this stage of it. Occasionally I'll just go and redraw one of the legs or arms or something because it's just a black line. So if I do redraw anything, it's usually pretty simple shape. Then I did that ball just went by, and now he's looking back at whoever threw the ball. And so here's where I do a little bit of redrawing. First ball comes, and then we're gonna get the ball flying right at his face. When you do fast animation or like a fast action, you only use like 1 or 2 frames. And you notice one of them, or a lot of them, I'm warping the shape of the ball, which also lends to the illusion of it moving really fast, right? Because it looks like a streak rather than just like a ball in place. And then as it like collides with different things, I made it warp to like collide with his face there. Yeah, and just as long as everything's on different layers, it's always easy to just go in and make adjustments and change things. And you can keep everything in groups as well, so you can take the whole head and move that independently of the body, or move the whole body plus the head at the same time. So it turns around and smacks him in the face. Now I have to animate him, the guy falling over, reacting to the ball in the face. And I try to do a little over or carry over. So basically, like when the body stops moving, the legs have like 1 extra frame where they settle down. So it kind of flops a little bit. And then we also need to animate all the reactions to the second ball as it collides with the guy's face. My theory, or my general technique, is just make the eyes and the pupils bigger together, and then make the pupils bigger again, so that the proportion of pupil to eye is there's more pupil. Boom. So now we need this guy's reaction, this guy out in the background. See the background, they're very pixely, but even little details with the pixels are very apparent. Like you can, like little subtle differences with the eyes. You can tell where someone's looking. Boom. So that's basically the whole animation. And then we add some editing, some camera moves, some sound effects to really get it going. Let's check it out. And that's the video. Well, that was the tester file. I don't even know if that's my latest export of it. So basically, I need to add audio commentary over that video, and it's pretty much done. So that's kind of good news, right? The other one, is this gonna work? No, that's the same video we just goddamn watched. It's mislabeled. That should be called ball bounce. Part of a video. It's not the whole one. All right, child vid 2. No, that's still the ball bounce one. So I don't have it. Okay, it might be on my external drive, but I have another video that's about drawing in perspective. Perspective drawing. Did I put that in? It would either be in here. Oh, is it in here? I'm so disorganized. Yeah. This is it. So check this out. Check out this intro. So this is a video basically talking through perspective drawing all the way from it's not like it's super instructional. It's more kind of talking about how I learned it and how I understand it. Because this is not a really like I teach you how to make stuff, but it's more like learn along with me. Because I'm sort of learning this stuff as I'm making it. Yeah. So in 2D perspective, squares are squares, but in real life, when you look at a square at a low angle, it starts to look like a trapezoid, So that's the whole idea of drawing in perspective. Boogie Boy, Peppercorn, Donnie, and Brain, of course. And if we draw from the side, we can also see our right angles disappear. So the first type of perspective drawing I go through is called isometric. This doesn't have any vanishing points. Everything is drawn with vertical lines being vertical, but horizontal lines going at a 30-degree angle from vertical. And you see this kind of perspective in video games a lot, also in like technical drawings. It just makes everything very clear. And what's nice is you don't have to like change the scale and size of things. So an object and anywhere in this picture is going to look the same size as it would relative to anything else. So that's why it makes animation super easy, because there's no vanishing point. Everything remains the same size. Like if you want a little bicycle guy going down, he doesn't have to change size. When you introduce vanishing points, your parallel lines will not be parallel. They will converge to a vanishing point. So if we have one vanishing point, we're dealing with 1 point perspective. Put a dot right in the middle of the page. That's the horizon line, and it's also the point that your lines kind of disappeared to. The first obvious choice is like a hallway. I used to draw hallways a lot when I learned this. You can put the 1 point off to the side a little bit, and that gives us 2-point perspective. Because if you keep putting it further and further to the side, you're going to have a second vanishing point on the other side of the page. So this is where we can draw things at like a corner. So here we have a cityscape. If you have a keen eye, you will remember this picture from the 90 trillion pound gorilla video. So we got our 1 point, our 2 point. You got your 3 point. 3 point perspective is when you throw another vanishing point up on the top. You can make it look like this, like you're standing at the bottom and kind of looking up something that gets smaller as it goes away from you. So you can kind of draw big tall buildings and it looks like you're down below. You can also put the point down at the bottom, make it look like you're up at the top, and way down below in the ground is really far away from you. Pretty interesting way to do it as well. Now, 4-point. This is where things get a little interesting. With the first perspectives, every line is a straight line, linear vanishing points. 4-point, we start dealing with curvilinear perspective. So these curvy lines, basically, it's as if you kind of drew a sphere, or it could be a different shape, but like a oval or whatever. But basically, this is one way to do it. You got your straight linear lines and your curvilinear lines. So my left and right are perfectly straight, but my top and bottom are curved. And it gives everything this kind of fish eye, almost curvy looking kind of look to it. You got your 1-point, your 2-point, your 3-point, and your 4-point. But what could be next? Of course, it is 5-point. 5-point is also known as fisheye perspective. So we're going to have basically 2 sets of curvilinear vanishing points with one vanishing point in the center, with a linear one in the center. So you have your vertical up and down, your horizontal left and right, and you have your proximal, your near and your far. So if you draw everything according to those little guidelines, it looks like it's in like a teardrop or a glass ball or a fish's eye. The distortion is less and less as you get closer to the middle of the page, and it's more distorted towards the outside. So here I opened up a really, really big project, and I basically just like drew this sort of little neighborhood, little rural neighborhood. And it's basically a lot like drawing in 1-point perspective at this point, especially here in the middle. There's very slight curves, but then as you get to the outside of the page, left and the right, the curves are a lot more pronounced, right? So it does give this effect that you're sort of viewing it through like a curved lens, like a fisheye lens that just ever so slightly curves everything. Things in the foreground, like this little riverbank, we can tell that it's supposed to be straight, but it's actually a curved line. And then same with the railings of this bridge there. So in conclusion, this is my exploration through the different vanishing points, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Now, I've heard of 6-point as well. You can add a second linear thing. And it's basically like, it's as if you're drawing on like 2 sides of a coin, or two halves of a sphere because of that curvilinear thing. But that's a little too advanced for my blood. So that video, all the artwork I did for it, plus all the editing and putting it together, has been saved. Was put on my hard drive. Can be finished without having to redraw, without really any work lost, because I never recorded any narration for it. Oh boy, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm feeling a little bit better than I was before I remembered these videos and showed them to you guys. I need to eat. I've been neglecting my body hunger signals, I think, and I didn't even notice. But I've been freaking out, and I shouldn't be this freaked out. I should be a little sad, but I should also have like a streak of positivity. And I think it's the lack of food, to be quite frank with you. So let's put the podcast back on. I'll be listening with my headphones, but I won't be sitting at the mic. I'll be making a snack. Okay. Thanks for bearing with me.
Sure.
Legit, these dum-dums would tell their tailor everything, like literally spilling the beans on secret plots to capture Washington. After the war,
3-0!
After the war, Hercules was widely lauded as Washington's own clothes guy, and apparently he appears as a character in Hamilton, which I've never seen. Which might be why there was an applause for Hercules Mulligan.
That makes sense.
Otherwise, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's a great story of a tailor turned spy, but also fuck him, because the only reason he was able to convey secret intelligence to Washington is because he sent a person he enslaved to do it.
Oh!
As with all these stories in American history, we need a mulligan.
I was going to say
3-1.
Oh my God, the audience has spoken. I think this is a knockout.
Unfair. That was unfair of me. I could prepare.
That one was intended. That one was way in advance.
Yeah. So we're going to celebrate. Unfortunately, I looked at every day anniversary of his birth, and they were all bad.
Sure.
So unfortunately, we're going to celebrate it the day he died. The anniversary of Hercules Mulligan's death.
Oh my God.
So you ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
All right. Here is where we start off with
Okay.
March 4th, 2011.
The sheening of America. In less than a week, troubled actor Charlie Sheen becomes country's top pop culture icon. And they've done different analyses and breakdowns. He's bigger than John Wayne, bigger than Marilyn Monroe. And it's because he's not being a hypocrite. I don't endorse everything he's saying or doing, but he is my friend, and he's been going through a lot. And the point is, he's saying, I'm going to be 100% real, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite. And that's what people recognize and appreciate, is the truthfulness. And it's just getting bigger and bigger and crazier by the minute. I talked a lot to Charlie yesterday, talked to him this morning, and I just hope this whole thing ends well.
Oh, it doesn't.
We live in the future now.
Spoiler alert. Does not end well.
Yeah.
So in case anyone doesn't remember, 2011 was the year when Charlie Sheen had his huge meltdown. He got fired from 2.5 Men and became a ridiculous public spectacle. Everyone had fun watching the train wreck he was living until they didn't, and it became very sad. What people tend to forget is that all of that happened because of an interview on InfoWars. Well, at least a lot of it did.
Right. It started there.
Sheen was talking to Alex when he got all anti-Semitic about Chuck Lorre and started his public spiral. People may remember the 2020 interview that he did where he had like tiger blood and all that shit.
Yeah.
But 2.5 Men was canceled directly after he was on InfoWars. It would be a stretch to say that Alex was partially responsible for what happened to Sheen, but he was definitely enabling him and being a bad friend, because being a bad friend is good for business. Because of his proximity to the story, Alex did a round of interviews, including going on The View, and he tried to cash in on this downfall.
Yeah.
It's pretty gross as a little patch of history to look back on, and it only gets worse the more you know about it, so let's not dwell on it.
Yeah, let's never.
To give a little bit of sense of where things are at this point, though, on March 4th, the initial interview that led to 2.5 Men getting canceled took place on February 24th, so we're about a week away from that. Charlie has done some interviews, and he's had his kids removed from his custody, and then started tweeting a bunch of nonsense like winning. We all remember that?
I think at this point there really should be like a counter that shows up right there that goes like 7 days away. And then over to 6 days away.
So he's about a week away from announcing his Violent Torpedo of Truth tour, which I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
It began with him getting booed off stage in Detroit on opening night.
I would say, and I'm just going to throw this out there, Violent Torpedo is not necessarily a great tour name.
But what if it's of truth?
Okay, never mind. I'm back in.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It was all bad times.
Yeah.
But it turns out, if you know anything about this, Alex was pretty involved in the events in Charlie's life, apparently.
Okay.
But mostly like cool things.
I've known calm, focused, intelligent Charlie Sheen. People are calling him a poet, a great comedian. All of these words he's come out with and terms are becoming cultural icons now. And a lot of it is rooted in jokes that I told him. Some of it. I told him to get on Twitter 3 weeks ago when I was out of his house. Boom. Broke the Guinness Book of World Record for the most Twitters. People signing up in one day. It's approaching 2 million right now. I made the joke about people say we're warlock Vatican assassins. Folks, he's not a ninja. He's not a warlock Vatican assassin. That's a joke. And he said, people don't get my satire. They don't get my joke. You know, put a little bit of hieroglyph into your mind to understand what I'm saying. But people don't get it. Well, I'm going to be doing a video later today where I may even do it on air, where I break down exactly what Charlie's saying.
Ooh, that'll be good.
I'm sorry.
Let me explain the jokes that I've told him.
All right. So you got to understand, this man's throwing his career away because I told him a bunch of jokes.
Uh-huh.
Later on, we're going to analyze them in detail.
I'm gonna translate for you a little bit here.
Because I want to save his career?
I'll take the fall on this one, please.
Yeah.
So it is true that Charlie Sheen set that world record, getting to 1 million Twitter followers in just 25 hours and 17 minutes.
Oof.
However, he was beaten by someone who Alex does not like very much, Obama. Got to 1 million in just 4 hours, 52 minutes.
Sure.
Another parallel here that's kind of interesting. The world record for the first person to ever get to 1 million followers, that was set by Ashton Kutcher, the guy who would go on to replace Sheen on 2.5 Men. There's layers to this stuff.
Oh, my God.
It's an onion.
And then Elon Musk would go on to purchase Twitter and be exactly like Charlie Sheen.
What?
It makes sense. It's
Winning!
all coming together.
Winning!
Cybertruck!
I just love hearing, though, that Alex is secretly behind all this stuff.
That is, how many times people claim to be like, no, you don't understand. That guy's lost his everything because I'm great.
So Alex has a big announcement. This show, a large part of the beginning of the show is just him teasing that he has a really big announcement.
Of course.
So we actually get to some of your phone calls, which I always enjoy hearing from you and the different questions and directions you take us in. I'm going to go ahead and go to your phone calls now. But in the next segment, I'm going to make a very important announcement. So please stay with us for that. At the start of the next segment, coming up here in just a few minutes. Let's talk to Scott in Mass. You're on the air, Scott. Thanks for holding.
Whoa. Scott in Mass. You're wrong. He's actually in a Catholic church right now. You've mistaken. I understand regionally that makes perfect sense to you. Yeah.
Scott in Mass. Scott in Mass.
That'd be a fun background to an InfoWars call.
Yeah, maybe you should. I mean, I understand why people would applaud because, it's a person who's, from Massachusetts.
I bet they're not going to like him later.
Oh, no, they're not.
I would imagine Massachusetts will soon not wish this was their only son.
They have many other sons and daughters and folks, but Scott kind of sucks. Turns out he might be an anti-Semite.
Let's talk to Scott in Mass. You're on the air, Scott. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Mr. Jones. How are you?
I'm okay. Pretty tired, but okay.
I'd like to say that we're in a depression. Our economy is crumbling. Look, Goldman Sachs, Bear Stearns, the Rothschilds, and other greedy and evil international Jewish bankers on Wall Street have destroyed our economy, Mr. Jones. And not only have they destroyed our economy, but the Federal Reserve Bank was founded by Paul Warburg, which is a Jewish invention.
No! Scott from Mass.
I was really hoping for the 3 senators. No,
bad news. Bad news about Scott.
No.
Sorry. So here's what's interesting about this, though.
Yeah.
This guy goes off a ways.
Sure.
This is a jump off, let's say. And it gets it's such a thing that Alex is uncomfortable with that he has to push back on this.
Okay.
And he has to start talking about how no, this is bad. This is bullshit. This last caller sucked.
Yeah.
And there's something kind of nice about that,
yeah.
I guess.
Somebody needs to, at least.
Yeah. So Scott had pushed him too far.
Scott has gone too far for Alex Jones, Massachusetts. Scott from Mass. Woo!
While I was pacing around backstage, I was thinking about that harsh turn on Scott from Mass and how a room full of people would experience that. So Alex complains about this caller.
Yeah.
And then he says something that I think might be as close to prophetic as he's ever said.
All right.
It's despicable and it's crazy and it's wrong. Okay, so I said I'd take a lot of calls, but that one caller, just absolutely had to be responded to because it's just nuts. I mean, it's totally and completely nuts that you can't just criticize corrupt individuals that are doing things. You have to make it about entire groups of people. And I, for one, am tired of it. I'm tired of people making fun of folks that wear cowboy hats and got a suntan and a red neck because they work outside all day and bust their hind end. I'm tired of it, but people like it. People like to pick groups out. And I'm so tired of TV always making fun of Southerners, making fun of people in Texas, making fun of people. I'm just sick of it. But it's what people like because it makes them feel good about themselves. Alex Jones reaching tens of millions of people a month. Alex Jones trailblazing the awakening against the globalists. And there's all these armchair quarterbacks and people with podcasts with 15 listeners who can just sit back and go, forget all his work, everything. I'm better than him because I can make up lies about him. Well, good for you.
Good for you. I feel like for that clip alone, you got to choose this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
He prophesies a podcast
It's true.
with 15 listeners. This is all fake.
Did he
audience
make
noise.
us? Is that what happened? Did he speak us
We
into being
exist
like
in his mind.
so what happened was like a Batman created the Joker. Is that
Right.
what happened? But we're the Joker. Wait, no, we're I don't like either of
Why
those guys
so
anymore.
serious? That's a Joker thing, right?
That is the Joker thing.
Yes.
5-0. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess Alex counts as a group of people.
Yeah, I was hearing
people are mean to Southerners and then just himself.
I was hearing the theme song of Fentanyl, the Magic Dragon.
Ooh.
I hate it when people make fun of entire groups lumping them together.
Wild.
Oh, what a monstrous thing to do.
So that guy, Scott, all of your friend. Scott ruined calls.
Right. They're all over. No
Yeah.
more calls.
Yes. So no more calls.
Don't worry about that.
Alex is just going to spend his time teasing this big announcement.
Okay.
Hey, here's the big announcement. I'm going to come back and go to calls. Mark Dice will be on it 8 after, but I got to go to some of your calls. Here's the deal. Charlie Sheen's my friend. Charlie Sheen's always been drug-free when I know him, married, upstanding. Not even using profanity. Very pious, focused.
Never
He went on
once.
his 7-month jag, got wild. He's off of it now. Obviously, high on endorphins, being totally clean. That's a side effect of it. Is really being awake and alive. Media calls it mania, but I call it being awake and alive and trying to be totally truthful.
How do you feel about that?
Sure. I feel slightly differently about my mania, as does the swath of destruction left behind me.
You don't think it's just being awake and alive?
I don't know if I've ever thought a tornado was the most awake and alive.
But what if it was violent and truthful?
Okay, now we're talking about a torpedo.
Oh, not tornado. That honestly is on me. I thought you said, I don't know what I thought. I either thought you said torpedo.
5-1. Boom! Let's go.
Shit. That's like me playing tennis and hitting the line. That was
a foot fault.
Let me reserve.
Let's start from the beginning.
Dunk. Sorry. To end up just staring at you.
5-2.
So is this the big announcement that
No,
Charlie is cool?
It can't possibly be that Charlie Sheen is clean and also crazy.
And cool.
And cool.
And Alex's friend.
Yes.
No, that's not.
And actually, Alex is cool.
He is pretty cool.
And Charlie Sheen is cool because he listened to Alex's jokes.
And he wrote his jokes. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's not the big announcement.
Okay.
There's another announcement.
Oh, of course.
But I'm on the jet airplane with him. He came to pick me up 3 weeks ago. flying out to California. He flew me back too. And I said, you got to get a Twitter account instead of just sending stuff through TMZ. You got to get a Twitter account. You got to get a Twitter account. He finally did get a Twitter account. It's almost 2 million people now in 3 days, world record, Guinness Book of World Records. And I thought to myself, why am I giving advice, but then not following my own advice? We've got a Twitter account for, I don't know, 6 months or so, twitter.com/RealAlexJones. And I never promote it. I never hardly use it. We're going to start sending photos out daily. I'm going to start giving you sneak peeks of what's coming out. I'm going to start, because this is a powerful tool where I can be on the ground in New York City or anywhere else at a rally or the police are about to arrest me, and I can fire out a Twitter. So I know how to Twitter. I send out some Twitters, but I'm going to start sending out a lot of Twitters, and I want to get 100,000 Twitter followers by next Friday.
I know how to Twitter.
Okay. Give me one world in which Alex Jones's fat fucking fingers can fire off a tweet before he's goddamn arrested. How dare you, Alex Jones?
And this
That is the only thing I don't believe about you, sir.
Well, this is 2011 technology too, right?
Right. He's
on a flip
T9.
phone. So, the announcement is that Alex is going to get on Twitter.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is a bummer because in some ways, this might represent the beginning of Twitter brain.
Right.
Like him chasing a social media high that was proved by Charlie Sheen being so successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally, I saw my friend get 1 million followers,
Yep.
so I want 2 million because I'm a great friend.
And also it was my idea that he got on Twitter.
My idea. So I'm going to take his.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What a lunatic.
What an anniversary. Hercules Mulligan.
Hercules Mulligan.
Thank God he didn't live to see this.
Man, it really would take a Herculean mulligan to get Charlie Sheen back.
Or get Alex.
You know what, everybody? We're just going to call it live and let live. 2.5 Men is back.
So Alex
That's
decides
the correct response. Yes.
for something that is going quite well.
Yeah.
Fair amount of jocular booze.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah. I like it.
So Alex is going to promote his Twitter. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
We've got to get this Twitter out there. Paul Joseph Watson has written a press release. There's hissing.
I have not heard a hiss.
Yeah.
I don't think ever on stage before.
Oh,
it
man.
was a delight, and
Yeah.
also never do that to me ever. That will hurt my feelings more than anything I could imagine.
Scared of snakes.
Get hissed at? Goodbye. Yes.
So we're doing that promotion. We're trying to get the word out there about Twitter.
Doing it.
So please, twitter.com, Real Alex Jones. We're going to do a Google search term and test the new Google algorithm that's trying to block us getting #1 search terms. We haven't done this in over a week. I need you to Google Alex Jones Twitter. Alex Jones Twitter. AlexJones_Twitter. 3 words. Alex Jones Twitter. Alex Jones Twitter. And I want to make that #1 to test what Google's doing, but also to get more people on our Twitter account.
Yeah, I think that's probably the second reason. It's probably the reason. So one of the things that Alex built a lot of his career on is gaming the internet.
Yeah.
He, more than many in that field, realized that things like trend data could be manipulated if enough people engaged in it, and he had zero qualms with being really transparent on the show about what he was doing.
Yeah.
At this point, Google search trends were very rudimentary and easy to cheat, so Alex would often go on his show and tell his audience specific terms to Google because that would make these terms appear in other people's suggestions for trending topics. Essentially, it's free marketing you're getting the audience to do for you, pretending that it's some form of activism.
Right.
It strikes me as a little embarrassing to be this naked about it when you're doing your show, but you really can't argue with results. According to Google Trend data, there was almost no interest in the words Alex Jones Twitter on March 3rd. And then on March 4th, the number shoots way up. Of course, it's entirely unsustainable, and that line immediately starts dropping the next day until it's back at almost no interest. But your hope is that you're creating, these small fire with these trends, and if you do that enough, eventually one of them will catch on big.
Right.
The ultimate goal of this is actually just trickery. You're hoping that the lazy media outlets will see that you appear to be really popular, so they decide to do a story about an artificial trend. Fun fact, if you consult the Google Trends website, this day in history was the largest peak for the search terms Alex Jones Twitter would ever be. With two exceptions. The day he was kicked off Twitter.
Well, that makes sense. That does make sense.
And the day Elon Musk brought him back.
Oh my God.
Those were the 2 days. Other than this, it's wild. If you look, oh, snakes. Sneaky snakes everywhere.
This is going to be a new thing. People are going to start hissing everywhere.
Bringing hissing back.
Yep, it's about time.
It's so fun to look at that chart, though, because it's like 2011, huge spike, and then boop, 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 boop. Long time, real.
I think what's fascinating about it is that it is like the 3 types of Alex Jones fame, which is people are looking for him because he's hated. People are looking for him because inexplicably he's back. And people are looking for him because he's begging for you to. Please put Alex Jones Twitter into Google. Is the 3rd highest possible way he can get attention.
Yep. And it's not just put it into Google. It's do it repeatedly.
Of course.
We've dominated. Now we're going to dominate Twitter. Another salvo in the info war. Twitter.com/Real Alex Jones. Google, search the term Alex Jones Twitter. We'll be right back. Help us get that out. Put it in the Google search box over and over again.
Money! I mean, honestly, the idea is money!
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty, you can't argue with results.
I think he gets a point. So it's 5-2-1 now.
Oh, no.
For playing money.
I am not going to lose this.
No.
So Alex washes the feeling of the Scott from Massachusetts off himself.
Right. Just dumps a pile of I'm great and Charlie Sheen loves me on his face.
Yes.
And
gotcha. So he decides, I can get back to calls. I can do that.
Sure.
I can do that.
He's strong enough.
And so he takes a call, and this guy, man, just bums me out. Just bums me out.
Julio in Illinois, you're on the air. Welcome.
Alex Jones, lover of freedom, brother in arms. Good to talk with you as always. Quickly, 3 reasons why we're winning, and we've already won.
Winning.
Number 1, winning. Charlie Sheen has that Twitter account. My favorite band, Humphreys McGee, and everyone all throughout the world are saying winning. And people freedom lovers of Charlie Sheen fans, please show your friends 20 minutes with the president of Charlie Sheen and expose to them why Charlie Sheen is a great friend of 9/11 Truth.
Can you imagine going to an Humphreys McGee concert and finding the only Nazi?
That would not be winning. I like that people are just unprovoked on info or saying winning.
Yeah.
Winning. It's a bummer.
It is.
That really bums me out.
It is sad, not least of which because Alex cannot stop himself from being like, that's a word I know. Winning. Like it is a call and response of a child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it mirrors the Trump winning later.
Yeah.
Just all very depressing.
Oh man, like Gamergate was the first of all now. Charlie Sheen was the first of Trump.
Oh.
It's all coming together now.
Did Alex write Trump's jokes? There's layers to this. There's layers. So Alex teased a little bit ago that he was going to have a guest on, and that is a fellow by the name of Mark Dice.
Oh.
I feel like just about any name is probably going to prompt
it is
disappointment
and
hissing.
It's a bit like a graduation ceremony. Save your hisses for the end of the list of names. You're gonna get there. We're all gonna get there.
Throwing my hat in the air.
Foot fault.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So here we go. Mark Dice is coming on.
Now, joining us is Mark Dice, author of Big Brother, The Orwellian Nightmare Come True. And I think it's the most powerful book he's ever written. We carry all of his books at Infowars.com, but we've teamed up with Mark when he wanted us to contact us a few months ago with this idea. In the first 3.5 months of its publication, we're going to be the exclusive place to get Big Brother, The Orwellian Nightmare Come True. It starts shipping, the 21st of this month.
That's pretty exciting.
Is it?
No,
No.
not in the least.
No, not even a little bit.
No.
We're a publishing house now is not an exciting thing to say, especially 2011.
I got a big announcement. We're on Twitter, and also I guess we're exclusive outlet for books.
There's a book.
So I know that we've talked about Mark Dice in terms of him being an idiot who does man on the street videos that Alex really thinks are news, but I'm not sure that we've ever gone too much into his deeper backstory.
Yeah.
So among Alex's pack of weirdos, there are a few who there's very few of them who are as well documented as who have a career like a scamming career. Like Mark. In the mid-'90s, he was engaging in your standard get-rich-quick online kind of hustles where he started to spread his wings in like 1999 when he began a business called Advanced Memory Concepts.
Oh, boy.
This hustle all started back when he was working at a gas station in Burlington, Wisconsin, where he would allegedly memorize customers' credit card numbers while ringing them up. Then use the fact that he'd memorized their number to sell them a book he'd written on how you can have a great super memory. At least that's the story that he tells.
That's like the guy who breaks into a bank. Like, I was just teaching you how to break into your bank. I'm your new security consultant. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Also, I still have your money.
Change your credit card account number for sure.
You should probably do that because I will steal from you.
Oh, buy this book or else I know your credit card number.
Yeah.
So either this didn't end up being lucrative enough or Mark got bored and decided to stretch his wings because in 2005, he wrote a book called The Resistance Manifesto under the pen name John Connor because all these dudes think they're the main character in sci-fi movies.
Right.
The book caused shockwaves in the conspiracy world and laid out a very religiously based opposition to the coming New World Order. Mark he wouldn't be revealed to be John Connor for a while, so in the meantime, under his normal name, he also became a pickup artist. And that's fair.
Yeah. That is a lateral move. Yeah.
So he under this persona, he wrote a book called The Book on Dating, Strategies Every Man Should Know.
Oh, God.
This is something that I can't overstate. The man who was pushing a religiously motivated conspiracy manifesto was simultaneously selling a book that he wrote about how to pick up chicks. So Alex says that he sells all of Mark's books on Infowars, but I'm not sure if he actually meant the full catalog, like including that pickup artist book. I was sadly unable to find that title on Alex's store.
Oh, no.
But that doesn't mean I couldn't find it elsewhere. Whoa! It's got a chess piece on the cover and everything.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yep. It's not good.
Trying to sleep with women is trying to defeat them in a fucking war.
He will say repeatedly, it's not about sleeping with women. Because he's still trying, he's a bit religious.
Right. This is about finding a wife. It's to find a wife.
Yes.
It's to psychologically terrorize her so much.
Right.
She feels incapable of leaving you.
Right. Like this wonderful passage here about how women cannot have male friends. Yeah, cool, man. Cool.
Yep.
Most of this book, if I had to boil it down, is about how, like, if someone tells you that they have a boyfriend, they don't really. That's what a shocking amount of this book is.
Oh, boy.
Like, if they're not married, maybe you're looking to upgrade.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Also, it gave me the delightful line, those who hesitate, masturbate. I've heard worse.
Yeah. I mean, fuck him. I don't want to think about him like.
So, you don't?
I struck out. I will be right back.
No, I didn't. So I was going through this, and it's a shit book. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But there are some suggested pickup lines.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Okay, let's do this.
You might need to walk around.
Let's hear these. Come on now.
Okay, here this is in parentheses. An idea I got from Seinfeld.
No. Not a coincidence what's happening with Seinfeld today. And he's in Mark Dice's book from 10 years ago.
There's a fair amount of stage direction in here, which I will also be reading. Hi, I'm Mark. I'm unemployed and I live with my parents. Smile and pause for reaction. But I more than make up for it with personality, and that's what really matters, right? Pause for reaction. I'm kidding. I just wanted to say hello and see what you were up to. Parentheses, or what you girls are up to if it's a group, and then a new parentheses, smile.
What are you gals up to?
This is literally just doing a scene from Seinfeld.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's an idea you got from it.
That is such a...
So you're not going to adopt that one?
Man, that's brutal. What is the average response to that? What could possibly be the response other than stop, sir?
Mate.
Go away.
It's from now on, it should be a loud hiss.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So you want another one?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
At a bar, and then this word is all caps. Immediately after you see a guy strike out and walk away from a girl or a group of girls, walk right up to her and say, I guess since he just struck out, I figured I would step up to the plate next to see.
I'll fuck you.
See. It also ends with parentheses, smile.
Who's the stage direction for?
It's for the person who doesn't realize I should
God.
probably smile if I'm talking to people.
I mean, I suppose if you are treating the idea of like meeting women as an aggressive act, it would be wise to remind people to smile. Because essentially you're treating them like you've got a chessboard on the front, just like pause for reaction. Interesting. She likes unemployed people. Lose my job.
I just quit.
Smile.
Do you like me now? Parentheses, don't say out loud. So this one's good if you're trying to pick up someone who's with their mother. Like, his loss. You all can hear this important, very important, good advice. Introduce yourself to the mother or father, whoever she's with, and tell them that their daughter is so beautiful that you would be a failure to the male species if you let this opportunity pass you by without asking her out.
I can think of an honest human reaction to that, just being my first thought, just being like, go!
You mean if you're the parent?
If I'm anybody, if I'm across the street and I hear half of that, run!
It's like coming in for a spear tackle.
Yes,
from
absolutely.
across the street.
I'm John Connor from the future. You gotta go. No,
I promise I'm not going to do this all night. But I could.
Yeah.
I'm at least going to read you one more.
Okay.
So this is the words. It starts in media res with the quote.
Okay.
I'm curious. Have you ever been on a blind date? Girl's answer, no. Response, well, I know someone who I'd really like to hook you up with, and I think you'd hit it off pretty well. Girl, really? Response, yeah. Pause. That person is me. Parentheses, smile. This book, it's something. But I do love that reveal that always is like, and I know that person because he's me. Like,
that is always
that dramatic
great.
moment
That is always great.
is pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't argue with that.
Whew. This book is trash.
Man.
He does tell you not-
www.markdice.com.
He does tell you not to use these lines in church.
Oh, yeah.
Which is nice.
These aren't church lines.
No.
No. No. You don't want to be in church talking to somebody's mom.
No. I would be a failure of the male species if I would say that there's like 15 different variations of I would be a failure if I didn't ask you out.
Yeah.
It's very sad. So I got one more. You guys fine with one more?
Obviously.
Parentheses. If you're tall, to a tall girl.
Shorties need not apply.
Hey, I'm going to stand next to you for a minute because talking to all these short girls is causing me to slouch, and it's really bad for my posture. Parentheses, smile. Very important. Very important.
Ah, man. I feel like the smile on that one is actually terrifying.
Yeah.
I hate short people.
This, I mean, I spent more time than I like to admit reading this.
Oh, my God.
I didn't learn much. Mark Dice is an interesting fella. So do you feel more equipped to pick up people at a bar?
Oh, man, that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart not because there might be somebody who needs it, but because in Mark Dice's mind, everybody but Mark Dice needs this. Yeah. And that's sad. Like, this is a man who's like, I don't even need these lines. I'm so good.
He talks quite a bit about like memorizing all of this and like practicing it in a mirror.
Why is this the same as Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but for fucking?
So leaving all of this aside, that was just a little bit of fun.
That was just great.
This partnership that Alex is announcing with Mark ends up being a really bad, chaotic affair of him selling Mark's books.
Mm-hmm.
According to Mark, Alex didn't pay him for the sales of his book. And, quote, when I called and asked for the check, he, meaning Alex, flipped out and told me to fuck off. This led to a period where Mark was talking mad shit about Alex, putting out videos calling Alex a, quote, conspiracy shock jock, and said that Alex would, quote, hype things up I knew weren't accurate and sensationalize half-truths and misunderstandings.
Parentheses, smile.
It was pretty ugly for a bit, and Mark claimed that he'd seen behind the facade, but naturally that didn't stick. And before too long, all of these revelations that Mark had about how Alex was running a multi-level marketing operation and how everything was sensationalized, it all went away. I guess you just, the Twitter worked. You
forget
the press.
Maybe actually Alex just showed him, like, you sold 4 books, dude. I would have given you a check, but it's a bill.
I don't know. Bestseller. I do worry that me buying that would cause a noticeable blip.
Sure. Like he got a direct email to his phone, like, holy shit, somebody did it!
Yes.
Woo!
I know that it's probably irrational, but
Sure.
I do think that happened.
I kind of do too. I think he seems like the type who would be, yeah. Ooh.
So Mark is on. He's talking about this new book that I don't care about because it's not that one.
Sure.
And
This is the only book that I've ever cared about now.
he is also on a little bit of a campaign against Facebook,
Okay.
which fine.
Yeah.
Well, let's start off with Facebook Defriend Day. There's a whole section in the book about Facebook. And again, much of this audience may be familiar with this. So this is for the masses. This is for the people that aren't aware of these issues, or maybe the people that are just starting to care about what's going on. And so we're announcing Facebook Defriend Day. Just time to step back and think about the social implications of Facebook. People, there are police that are going on Facebook pages and arresting students for underage drinking using the photos that they've posted as the evidence. So just imagine the police are going on Facebook pages, finding photos of students, and then tracking them down and arresting them for underage drinking. This is Big Brother.
I mean, it is a little crazy.
Yeah,
That did happen to somebody that like I heard about.
Sure.
Like, it's pretty wild. That but it was because they had a party that got out of control. And the photos from Facebook were just used against them.
Sure.
It's not like the police were looking on Facebook, scrolling through like, oh my God, there's someone with a can of beer.
We've got a dedicated officer of looking at underage children's Facebook pages. Yeah, that's gonna go well. We hired a real weirdo for that one. Whoops.
So it's interesting because again, stop it, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think that Facebook Defriend Day and being against Facebook, great.
Sure.
Except, I mean, you're really just trying to get publicity for yourself.
Well, there is that.
So, so that's kind of how this goes.
Okay.
I think the best search term is just Defriend Day, DEFRIEND Day. 2 words into Google over and over again. Let's hit them. Let's hit them hard, folks. You've got so much power if you take action. Defriend Day. Put it in Google right now. Google bomb them.
You got to Google it. Google bomb them. So everything is a fucking Google bomb.
I mean, how many Google bombs can one conceivably do in a day?
I mean, how many times can a person Google? It's a philosophical question.
That is a philosophical. If a million monkeys Google, never mind. I don't know how that's going to end. I was like, this will probably go somewhere wrong.
They'll eventually create a banana search engine.
Sure.
I don't know what that means.
Yep.
I like Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah. Scott from Mass.
So we got like a lot of attention-driven things going on here.
Sure,
we got
sure.
Alex Jones' Twitter. You got to Google that. You got to Google Defriend Day.
Defriend Day.
And now Mark wants everyone to call Sean Hannity. He's just trying to get everyone to bother everyone. And then Alex makes a terrifying realization.
Today, I'd like to launch Phone Mob Friday. I'd like everybody to phone mob Sean Hannity. I think it's fun. It's a way that everybody, with one phone call, you can speak to hundreds of thousands of people, maybe millions. I'm not sure what the audience is.
I'm going to interrupt you because we've got an emergency right here. I just searched Defriend Day, Mark.
Oh my
and
God.
I didn't know that had already been done last year by other people, so it's going to send traffic to a place that makes no sense. Stop putting Defriend Day in, folks. You've got to put in Defriend Day, Infowars.com. 3 words, Defriend Day, Infowars.com, or they will not go to the Mark Dice exclusive article. So the 2 search terms are Alex Jones.
That's pretty funny. He told everyone to Google bomb it. He went to the wrong site.
Twitter, that's 1. Put those in over and over again. But put in Defriend Day, Infowars.com. Those 3 words, Defriend Day, Infowars.com. Put it in over and over again. We cannot fail. We kind of false started on that.
Yep. Messed up a little bit. This is something someone else already fucking did. And we can't exploit it if the traffic goes to them.
That just makes me so happy. Just the moment. We've got an emergency.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Someone's
shit.
had this very obvious idea.
Thank God he he tried to look for it. I mean, otherwise they might have completely fucked up on this one.
Oh man, that's just beautiful. That's just beautiful.
So Mark got he got everyone off Facebook. That was successful.
They did it, yeah.
Or they drove a slight amount of traffic to InfoWars.
Right, and then eventually everybody did get back on Facebook to share more anti-Semitic memes with each other.
And Alex had like 30 accounts or something when he got kicked off.
Yeah.
So Mark comes and goes. He does his business,
right?
And thank God he did, so I could share some wonderful pickup lines.
Okay,
with a room full of people who were hissing at me.
Yeah,
I kind of know how he must have felt.
Yeah.
It's kind of an artificial recreation.
Yeah, like any pickup line, it's a roll of the dice.
Hey,
Smile. Hold on, let me write that in the fucking Mark Dice Clay to Mark. Oh, never mind. Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So we got Mark. He comes and goes, and now we get another championship weirdo.
Sure.
He is an old feller. He is Bob Chapman.
Okay.
He comes on to obviously to sell gold.
Of course.
He's there to try and get Ted Anderson and Midas Resources gold out the door.
Absolutely.
And so he has some shocking predictions.
Okay.
I think the way that they're going to do this, and I've spoken of this in the program many times before, I think they're going to have a meeting. They're going to revalue and devalue currencies against each other. They will have multilateral default. What percentages, I don't know.
So coordinated default, what the G20's been saying for 2 years.
Yes. And my guess is it'll vary from currency to currency or country to country. The U.S., I'm looking for a 2/3 devaluation. In other words, you'll have 30 cents in each dollar that you've got. But I think that there's a good chance that they may use the dollar again. And once that default and devaluation is in place, they would have the dollar back 25% by gold, where the gold would come from. They either have it or they can borrow it. And they would use that again. And I'm just telling people, don't discount that. But it'll be a dollar, which will not be like the same that we have now. It'll be a great deal less valuable than it is today. So that's the way I think they're going to go with this. Timing, seeing that they're making these kinds of announcements, what will come over the next several months. They may try this before the end of the year.
Whoa. Shocking.
That is really a bold prediction is to say a small group of people will destroy the entire global economy in order to raise gold by 25%. That is a pretty bold prediction.
And you will need to buy that gold
You're going to
now.
have to buy that gold, otherwise you're fucked.
And I know just the guy. There are a bunch of times that it's like Alex is like, oh yeah, Ted's got a great special going. How's that special sound, Bob? So good.
So good. Because the entire world economy is going to crash, and then you're going to need that gold.
Like
it's such a crazy idea that there would also be a special simultaneously. It's almost suspicious.
Yeah. Ted does come in at the end with some pretty killer specials.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Wild.
So this episode is so Twitterish. And it's nuts because, like, if you go back in time to listen to these episodes, it's not the same as, like, in the present day. There's just this obsession with Twitter and everything is turned into this. But it's not like that all the time in 2011. And then Charlie Sheen got 1 million followers and Alex lost his fucking mind.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't, like, last his obsession with Twitter, like, constantly. But this day is just, it is Twitter.
Yeah.
He's taking questions from Twitter.
Oh, my God.
I've got a few questions here, though, that came in off of Twitter. Several for Bob Chapman, a whole bunch for me. It goes on to say, Alex, what is your favorite anti-tyranny quote? JB YRD Street asked that question. It'd have to be, I have sworn on the altar of God, eternal resistance against every form of tyranny over the mind of men. Thomas Jefferson. In fact, guys, can you cue up that liner? I think we had it dry just with Thomas Jefferson, because I think I paraphrased it a bit there. While they're getting that queued up, Bob, we have a couple questions here for you. Bob Chapman, they asked the question, was actually HMAA asked me about my favorite quote. It was Jaybird Street that asked Bob Chapman, how would you hold gold or silver? Proofs, uncirculated, or bars?
Oh, what a shock. The question for Bob is, should I buy
gold?
Yeah, and of course this weaves eventually to also Ted's got some great gold that you should buy.
What type and how much gold should I buy, sir?
All of it and from Ted.
What a great idea.
Yes.
Amazing that you would have this for me.
Yeah. So Alex's choice for a tyranny quote?
If Thomas Jefferson said that, I'm going to be real mad.
He did.
He did.
That one's a real one.
God damn it.
Yeah.
That's very frustrating. I'm fine with that. Fuck TJ.
I can't tell if that was a fuck Thomas Jefferson or if it was a fuck that it's a real quote.
Yeah. We are also disappointed.
I think it's so fun when something's fake.
Yeah.
Like a fake quote.
It is so fun.
And it's a delight to be able to reveal that. But
and it's so frequent that you almost expect it. It's like if you see somebody holding a donut about to hand it to you and then it turns out to not be cake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that show is about.
Ah! So this is a fun quote, though, because it is real, but it comes from a series of letters between Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Rush. In the letter that precedes this one, Rush had sort of indicated a wish to combine religion and government, saying, quote, it is only necessary for republicanism to ally itself with the Christian religion to overturn all the corrupted political and religious institutions in the world. The Jefferson quote Alex is citing comes from his response to this letter, where Jefferson is very clearly rejecting this idea. The full context of the quote is, quote, the clause of the Constitution, which, while it secured the freedom of the press, covered also the freedom of religion, had given to the clergy a very favorable hope of obtaining an establishment of a particular form of Christianity throughout the United States. And as every sect believes its own form, the true one, everyone perhaps hoped for its own, but especially the Episcopalians and Congregationalists. The returning good sense of our country threatens abortion of their hopes, and they believe any position of power confided in me will be exerted in opposition of their schemes, and they believe truly. For I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. So that's the context that quote comes in.
Is it true that essentially Thomas Jefferson is arguing that the First Amendment is almost entirely because Episcopalians wouldn't shut the fuck up? Is that what we're going to be?
It's an interesting reading.
I'm just saying, it feels like he was like, God damn it. Fine, we're putting religion in there.
You should make a musical about this. Maybe a rap musical?
Could be troublesome for me.
So Alex and Bob, they take some calls.
Sure.
I mean, you only really need to ask Bob one question from Twitter. And that's
how much gold should I buy?
Booyah!
A lot.
Booyah! Booyah! Where'd that come from? Love it. So Alex takes a call, and it's from a guy who's a little bit confrontational.
Okay.
With Alex, and it's pretty funny.
Okay.
Aaron in Nevada, you're on the air with Bob Chapman.
Hey, thank you very much. This is Go Not Radio calling again. Thank you very much, Bob. Listen to what Bob said. When he answered your question, he said demonstrate. And I think that's what we got to do. And you've been kind of shying away from that. Second thing I want to say is...
Excuse me? I haven't been against demonstrating.
Okay, fine.
No, hold on. When did I say don't demonstrate?
I've called you before, and you say you don't want to organize. Take your InfoWar listeners and put them in the street.
All right, listen, I appreciate your call, sir. I had Max Kaiser on saying demonstrate yesterday. I have Bob Chapman saying it. I tell people go out and get in the street and be active. And it's not that I don't mind being criticized, but why is it never legitimate? Okay, I mean, I'm working 18 hours a day sometimes. I'm trying. I can't do everything. I can't lead. I'm not all powerful. Don't you understand that? Bob Chapman, I mean, do you have any comments to what Aaron just said?
Well,
that way that Alex, like, as soon as he feels like he's attacked, he has to change the conversation, turn it against them. Like, God damn, I can't be everywhere all at once. Like, that's not what I said. I said, you don't fucking have the energy or the will to organize people to actually do something in real life. I didn't ask you to be everywhere all at once. I'm always really wary when I hear people talk about like when they're in a fight with someone and they tell me what like their side of the story. I don't often believe that, or you take it with a big grain of salt. Like, she expects me to be able to read her mind. They expect me to be everywhere at once. They expect me to be everyone to everybody. Like, I don't know if that's really what happened.
I think Aaron is in a position where he would like to see things happen more quickly, and I can understand that. But there's a time to do everything, and we're getting close to the time for major demonstrations, particularly with what just the TSA is doing. And it's going to
But I've been leading those. We put it on the map. I never can do enough.
Misinterpret them.
Maybe, I'm not going to do this, but maybe it'd be happier if I just quit, because I'm so bad that I work so hard. I'm the problem. I'm the evil, not the Federal Reserve, not the New World Order. It's all my fault, Bob.
Of course not. And you know that.
Of course not, Alex. It's not your fault.
No. What is the time from I don't mind criticism to I'll just quit?
Fuck all of you! I can't do everything.
What is that 30 seconds? Listen, I don't mind it when people criticize me. It's no big deal. I don't particularly care if people say that my hair looks bad. Fuck all of you! I'm leaving!
Never again. Bob, tell me I'm cool.
Yeah, Bob, what are your thoughts on that guy telling me I stink?
You know you're great.
Thanks,
by gold, parentheses,
By
smile.
gold,
So I think that this is fascinating because not only do in this single episode, we have Alex prophesying that a podcast with 15 listeners would critique him.
Lisa Nalgib!
We have
can't not
for the live audience, New Dune coming out soon.
New Dune coming.
So we have that crazy nonsense.
Yeah.
We have this like present day obsession with Twitter kind of being felt.
Yeah.
And then we also have Alex being a little baby and saying he's going to quit, which you don't see all the time in the past.
Oh, man.
This is a really 2011. I'm just going to fucking quit.
I'm done.
That's a rare.
Yeah, that is nice. On such little bullshit too. It is not enough. It is not enough to get
Hey, Alex,
quitting.
you why don't you tell people to demonstrate? I do. All right.
Yep. Could have ended there.
Breakdown.
Could have ended there.
Proceed to break down. So
Oh, God.
we have one last clip here,
Okay.
folks.
You've all been standing for so long. I'm surprised we're getting hisses and not cheers. Like, thank God!
All right, message
Here
sent.
we go.
I'll read some.
There we go. What do we got?
All right,
What do we got? Here we go.
I sort of referenced this a little bit earlier about Mark saying not to use these lines on people at church.
Are these the ones you can use on people at church?
No, this is a personal anecdote.
Okay.
Buckle up.
Okay. Here we go.
One time I thought it'd be really cool, and I ran one of my opening lines by a girl in the church. It didn't exactly go over too well.
Which one?
This was when I was still working the bugs out of my approaches. The next week, the pastor asked me to come into his office, and he had a talk with me. Apparently, the girl had told him what I had done, and it wasn't even outrageous or even borderline risky, I had thought. I was a little embarrassed, to say the least. This isn't the place for that, I can still remember him saying.
Oh, my God.
See, it's speaking from experience that
Oh
you don't want to
God.
try these at church. There are not any in here. There's not. There.
Here's what
the mind,
you do.
the mind reels.
I'll give it to you. Okay. Tall man, 2. Parents of 14-year-old. I'm sorry? What was that? All right.
The book does end with just a whole selection of stray thoughts. And most of them are like, it doesn't matter if she has a boyfriend. It's almost like he's just repeating that.
Yeah. It's a mantra
Yeah.
at the end. There were not a lot of editors involved in this book.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there were a lot of looks over it.
Was this self-published.
What?
Hard to believe.
It's hard to
Also,
believe.
I should say this. I mean, if you look through this,
Yeah.
the entire book is not laid out in chapters.
Oh my God.
It's a couple of paragraphs with a header throughout the entire thing.
Oh my God.
It's like there's a header and then and they're not connected at all. It's just like random musings. It's painful. Anyway.
It is a man who wrote it down and never looked back.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to help people.
Yeah.
Indeed. So anyway, Alex just got that call that made him break down a little bit and threatened to quit. And that's where the show is supposed to end. He is running out of time.
Of course.
For the show. And so he complains a little bit and makes an executive decision.
It's always this moral judgment. They call it and tell me how I did something wrong, and they're better than me. And if that's their big coat of arms in life, is that they showed the big Alex Jones. And it doesn't hurt me that they're attacking myself. It hurts me.
It's just buffering. It's buffering.
That they're attacking myself, it hurts me for them. I'm like, tell me where I'm not saying take action. Well, what do you talking about? We're all about action. It's Action Jackson. You know what? I'm going to overdrive 5 minutes, Bob. Stay with us because I want to go to, I don't want to end on that caller. I'm going to go to Frank, Chris, and Wolf on the other side.
Fuck yeah.
Why?
You think I don't do action? I'm Action Jackson. I cannot end the show with that bad taste in my mouth. We're doing 5 more minutes. But the rest of the 5 minutes that he doesn't overdrive is trash. So it's unfortunate because that would have been a nice no, I can't end on this note.
Yeah.
And there actually being some sort of a triumph or anything, but there's not.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It reminds me of our comic friend from the old days who would try his closer and it wouldn't go anywhere. And then he'd be like, okay, I'll do one more. And then he'd get one and he'd get a huge laugh. And then because he was an addict, he'd be like, well, I can do one more.
I knew exactly.
It wouldn't go.
I knew exactly who you were talking about as soon as you said they'd try their closer and it wouldn't work.
Yep.
Oh, good times. Good
times.
So, Jordan, how do you feel about what we've experienced here today?
I feel.
I mean, not with all these fine people. That's all great and wonderful.
I truly feel that there's something about Mark Dice that suggests caging people wouldn't be too bad. At a certain age, maybe we keep all men between 15 and 25 in pens, and then we can slowly educate them so they can enter the real world. where you can't go tall man to tall woman.
We tall.
Be taller.
Yeah.
Jesus
We are
Christ.
so tall. Fuck these short people.
We hate short people.
Are you my wife?
This is the man who's figured out the bugs.
Think about how many more books we would have like this if he was if your plan of
We
Cajun.
gotta Google bomb it.
Do not buy this book.
No.
I don't think there's enough copies for. But also, I'm embarrassed to say I paid full price for that book. I know. I deserve that.
Listen, fair is fair in commerce. One must render unto Caesar what is Mark Dice's.
And I mean, what are the odds I'm going to go to like a secondhand bookstore and find that bullshit? Odds aren't high.
And the problem would be if the odds do hit, you're probably in for a lot more problems as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this is the secondhand bookstore that keeps this. Oh my God. Oh my God. What else do they keep?
Oh no.
It's the Necronomicon.
They have fake books here.
Self-published.
Yeah. So we come to the end of this, and we got Alex's beginning of his road on Twitter.
Yeah.
What
amazing.
What a day. Brought to you by Hercules Mulligan deciding to die on that day.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you. You've been wonderful.
You so much.
I can't draw a table. I just don't have this in me tonight. So let's call it a stream. Thanks for watching.